Hello, I'm Laura Walthers. Welcome to Real Encounters with the Fairies. In this first episode, you will see how the fairies reveal themselves through magical portals and pathways in the enchanted forest. May you become enchanted! It all began the night before in Forks, Washington. Over 20 years ago, my husband, daughter, and I stayed at a cabin in the giant redwoods. It was twilight time, and I felt an urge to explore my surroundings, but only alone. While walking, I felt a knowingness in my heart. Something or someone was guiding me. Then I saw a massive, beautiful 80-foot-tall redwood tree at the forest entrance. "May I enter your forest?" I requested, and whoosh! I felt a loving wave go through my body. I wrapped my arms around its trunk and squeezed. I noticed a natural trail of soft needles at my feet. I followed it to an opening surrounded by moss-covered trees and shrubbery. I heard a song in my head and started to sing it. It was the fairies communicating with me. I felt loving energy all around me. I started to dance and move the energy through me. I discovered in that moment, believing they existed opened a doorway for communication. I could not see them with my eyes, but I could feel them deep in my heart. I trusted they had gathered around me for an important reason. Next, my heart felt like a wave of sadness had come through me. I wondered if they needed some sort of help. Immediately, I heard a voice in my head ask, "Could you be a messenger for us and reveal to the peoples of the earth that we really exist?" Now they were communicating telepathically with me. I responded, "Yes." My heart exploded with love and compassion to help them. I said, "If I am meant to work with you as a part of my life purpose, you will need to make your presence known to me before the end of the week's journey to the rainforest. To become your messenger, I will need your assistance and hope for an invitation into your realm. I only want to work with beings of light." I immediately felt a sense of deep trust and realized a contract had been made between the nature beings and I. I was honored to be chosen and continue to be of service now. This encounter changed my life. I woke up the next morning filled with excitement and anticipation about going deeper into the forest. As my husband Paul, daughter Jess, and I drove into the forest, we felt this wave of energy come over us, creating a chill from head to toe. I looked at Paul and said, "Did you feel that?" He replied, "Yes, I felt an intense wave of energy." We took it as a sign our energy fields were being altered. I brought my old Canon 35 film camera with me in order to capture some of the majestic landscapes. My friend Ariel gave me a black tourmaline gemstone to plant in the earth of the rainforest. It is a very good stone for grounding and clearing lower frequencies. I came upon 3 trees in a half-circle formation, and I knew this was the spot. Later, my spirit guide told me that the trees hold energetic star codes. The star codes are multidimensional, geometric shapes of high frequency, somewhat similar to the codes in our DNA. It enables the trees to hold higher frequencies for the planet. In the past, when density from greed and separation of spirit integrated into the cultures globally, it caused the planet to lower its vibration. The trees assisted Mother Earth and all upon and within her to keep a higher balanced vibration. So grateful for the trees. After the tourmaline was planted, it gave the trees permission to release the star codes. Because humanity is now holding higher frequencies of vibrations within their bodies, it is no longer necessary for the trees to hold the star codes. Everything seemed so alive. The trees were beautiful. The luscious green moss dripped off of these gentle giants. I could feel the energies were building around us. In the treetops, you can see how the forest ones appear in white light and orb form. We hiked for several hours, taking the time to experience the beauty and wonder of nature. The towering rows of luscious, mossy trees are referred to as the Hall of Mosses. You can see Jess in the lower left corner with a yellow circle around her. She gives a scale to how enormous and magnificent the forest trees are. On our way out of the forest, we entered a clearing of trees that immediately grabbed my attention. I felt another wave of energy come over me. It was different this time. It felt like warm honey had been poured inside of me, and I was surrounded by a blanket of love. The lighting felt magical and otherworldly. A cast of golden light surrounded us. Time stood still, and it felt as if we were all encased in a bubble. I asked Paul if he could feel anything. All he could muster was a nod, as he was blissed out in this wonderful, nurturing energy. In my stupor, I clicked 2 images of the tree with my camera, and then we moved back onto the pathway out of the forest. My intuition and inner thoughts told me something was different, but I couldn't explain it. We realized later that we had stepped out of time and became enchanted by the fairy realm. The fairies had lifted the veil and revealed themselves. This is why I refer to this as the enchanted tree. Several months after returning home from the forest, while looking at the photos from that magical day, I discovered how the large leaf in the middle of the tree had moved. Wow! As I examined the 2 photographs, I noticed something had changed. The leaf in the very center of the trunk had shifted. Look at these 2 photos. Notice how the green leaf moved from the middle of the tree to the left side of the tree. The images were photographed one right after another, seconds apart. What? There was no wind that day. This felt like a sign from the tree to look closer and examine the photo. What a clever way to get my attention. But there was more. As I viewed the image deeper, I saw a whole new community of nature beings. Together, the fairies and I had created a doorway into their realm. When you visit a forest, remember you are entering a sacred place alive with many beings. Just because we cannot always see them does not mean they are not there. These beings serve us through light and love, provide guidance for us personally and for the care of Mother Earth. They show us how to live in balance and harmony. Their world can be very large and expansive, or incredibly tiny. As you further your journey into the images that follow, I will help you train your eyes to see and develop your own abilities, to feel the elemental reality currently available to all of us on the beautiful planet Mother Earth. Let's take a closer look at the enchanted tree. Here's a close-up view of the wonderful beings in the photograph of the enchanted tree. To enhance their size, I create a visual with 3 magnifying glasses. The top magnifying glass reveals the grandfather face of the tree. Can you see his eyes, nose, and mustache? There are 2 faces blended together. The elementals love to shapeshift, revealing more than one perspective. In many of the photographs, you will actually see more than one face, sometimes layered on top of each other. Like them, we are made of light. They can reveal themselves as images in light or take on the shape, color, form, and texture of nature's surroundings to camouflage themselves. In the middle magnifying glass, we see what I call a tree elf. He is playful yet very wise. How brave a fellow to reveal himself to us. He looks so peaceful just sitting there on the tree branch. Can you see the tendrils on his head? There are hundreds of nature sprite fairies in this photograph. They are not yet in full density or physical form, so they may appear as lighted beings gathered in clusters. Next, we see in the lower right corner a close-up of a nature sprite in flight. This nature sprite presents itself in its pure light form. It appears as though it is suspended with its wings in a down position. Look at this close-up of Erlen, the tree elf. He is such a splendid miracle of nature. The golden clusters all around him in the tree are nature sprites in golden light form. The clusters infuse the trees with divine life force energy. Take a closer look at this nature sprite in the center, next to the white arrow. This type of elemental is known as a nature sprite, not a fairy. The original fairy race is often confused with winged nature sprites. Nature sprites belong in the nature being earth elemental categories. Tinkerbell is an example. She is a winged nature sprite, not an original fairy. She is categorized under fairy because fairy is a broad title for all beings that work and serve in nature. The fairy race, also known as Fae or She, are a high vibrational, advanced ethereal Irish race. In the past, the Tuatha Dé Danann lived and mixed with humans. They were part of the advanced Fae lineage. They have a society that includes courts of a king, queen, prince, and princess. As I examined the photograph of the enchanted forest more closely, I was amazed to see a woman appear. She resembles the apparition of a woman looking side profile at the enchanted tree. The white arrow is pointing directly at her. I wondered, who is this being? I could feel her powerful and loving energy. Here is the female figure illuminated in light form with pixelated rainbow colors. She appears to have a golden crown of light over her head. She is a forest deva named Nanusha. She is suspended in holographic form, not in full physical density. I showed the photo to Anya, an intuitive who is very connected to the fairy energy. She explained the woman in the photograph was a deva of the forest and I should ask her name. When I did, she responded, Nanusha. She travels between inner earth and surface earth. She serves as an intermediary between them. Nanusha held the energy in higher vibrations so the nature beings from other dimensions could be seen. Devas appear as light and are the architects of form. They hold the perfect blueprint of all life in nature. A deva is assigned to every living thing, even the soil. They are the blueprint designers for these living things and control all necessary energies for growth and health. They direct the nature beings of the forest and assign specific jobs to them. Like angels, there are many levels of devas. Deva is a Sanskrit word meaning being of light. The fairies and nature beings come into form through the rainbow rays, first red and the other vibrant colors. This photo was taken by a friend in Wales. Wow! Look at the energy field of rainbow colors. The fairies create nature with these colored rays of light. You can clearly see how Nanusha came into form through the multicolored rainbow rays. Now we have a close-up collaboration of different beings in the enchanted tree. From the top, left to right, there is an elemental face in the tree trunk. Then you have the grandfather of the tree, or some may refer to him as the Green Man. Can you see two faces? This is common with the elementals. They shape-shift and take on each other's features. The next large photo is the tree dryad, or also called tree spirit. You can see his large eye peeking out at you. The last top image is a fairy house with conical roofing. If you squint your eyes, you may see the tiny fairy people celebrating on what appears to be a deck or outer floor of the fairy house. The bottom left is a moss being. Some have seen it as a girl with long hair. Its head and shoulder form in the moss. The next photo is another elemental in the tree trunk. His face is pronounced in the bark of the tree. The last image on the bottom and far right reveals several clusters of layered fairies. They can choose to be very large or small. They do not have physical limitations in their realm. A year after I first discovered the enchanted tree, I wondered, what would it be like to go back? My friend Christina, my daughter Tanya, her friend Julie, and I returned to the rainforest. The original enchanted tree photo on the left has an overall golden light layer that does not appear in the enchanted tree photo on the right, taken a year later. My fairy guide told me the golden light layer is not sunlight, but the golden layer of another dimension, vibrating at a high frequency. It is the color of unity consciousness, which also includes the fairy realm. I have found this golden layer in many of my fairy and nature being photos, along with a red layer that helps them ground their energy into our reality. In the second photo, the moss being shape at the top of the tree fades. Now bring your gaze to the bottom of the tree. You do not see faces, only traces within the tree trunk. Enchanted Tree 2 has its own frequencies and reveals different energies. It is its own interdimensional portal that displays dramatic changes in what would normally be the same image, simply taken 1 year apart. The comparison clearly reveals the tree is not fixed in linear time. When we are open and look beyond what is in front of us on the surface, there is much more to be discovered. Look and see the close-ups of nature beings revealed in Enchanted Tree 2. The top magnifying glass reveals a very special being. His energy sparks with creativity and love. He appears to be wearing a black hat and has a whimsical look on his face. He carries the leprechaun expression. I asked him his name and I heard Larimer. He is not quite in full density, so he may look fuzzy to you. His energy is very wise. It reminds me of a magical wizard. What a delight to meet you, Larimer. In the middle magnifying glass, you see an elemental face emerging out of the green moss. He is somewhat hidden and blends in with the tree. Can you see the moss-covered face in the bottom photo? It has deep golden eyes. This mossy face is part of the tree right below the green leaves, but appears to protrude from the tree. He is an elemental spirit in the tree. You can distinguish his face easier in the close-up view. As I have mentioned before, the elementals take on each other's features. The photo on the right is a great example. It reveals two faces that have taken on each other's facial features. Shape-shifting is a popular action in the realms of nature. What a discovery! Tanny and Julie discovered this amazing tree off the beaten path. I shot this photograph with a medium format Hasselblad camera using black and white infrared film. Infrared light is invisible to the human eye. By placing a red filter over the lens, you block out visible light, but allow the infrared light to pass through to the film plane in the camera. As explained earlier in the video, the elementals come into this dimension on a red ray of energy. It is how they ground into our reality on Earth. The nether being was discovered because of this special film. I was grateful that I listened to my daughter's intuition to purchase the film. A perfect process for such amazing discovery. All of my camera exposures for this photograph and other infrared film group were all f4 at 4 seconds. It is no surprise because the number 4 represents the elemental energy. It is one of their symbols. They work creatively with the 4 directions: north, south, east, and west. Also the 4 elements: air, water, fire, and earth. Several months after returning home from the forest, I examined the infrared photo in closer detail with my magnifying glass. As I slowly browsed over the top of the tree where this being was peeking through, I caught a glimpse of it in my lens. Then a sudden surge of energy came through me like a buzzing wave. Zzz, zzz, zzz. It totally got my attention. I had to take a deep breath. The being was communicating with me and sending its energy. Contact! Immediately, without thinking, I got a name in my head. Nether being. I researched the meaning of nether being and found this description: from an unknown place or dimension. I could feel the nether being's curious and loving presence. Take a moment to gaze at the full tree image. This photograph is layered with different dimensional frequencies. You may discover some of the various beings walking between the worlds. Here we have another infrared photo. On the left side of this image is a portal. Portals are not usually seen with your physical eyes. They are doorways that open for entrance or exit from one dimension or level of frequency to another. You may have stood in one but didn't realize it. Our eyes naturally correct what may be out of the norm. Only an educated eye can perceive these portals. Depending on the energy in the forest, this tree may or may not show up. That doesn't mean it does not exist. It means in order to be in physical form, it must lower its vibration or frequency. We do this also. We are made up of light, and in order to initially come into a body, our soul must lower our frequency to be here on Earth in physical form. I realized after going through the forest portals, Spirit uses my eyes and camera as a tool to bring through these higher frequencies. My friend Christine and I are looking at the enchanted tree too. There is a portal of energy rippling alongside the left side of the tree. Follow top white arrow. It appears as a white translucent layer. You are seeing an energetic portal doorway that is open for you. Look closely, and you will see beings sitting inside the misty-looking energy. Follow the bottom white arrow. It is pointing at the faceless nature being. He is sitting in a side profile, and you can see his arms and boots. Amazing example of what is now being revealed in humanity's photographs and videos. The veil of illusion is lifting and opening the portal doorways. As humanity lets go of the past and limited programming, it creates new perceptions of our reality. I would like to share with you what I do before entering a forest. Preparing beforehand opens the door into deep realms of nature and activates your sensitivity and receptivity. Take a few deep, slow breaths in through your nose and gently out through your mouth. Focus on your heart and set a high vibration of centeredness and gratitude to meet the high love vibrations of the forest ones. With intention, imagine a white light or violet ray clearing and cleansing your body and energy fields. You can send the light rays down into the earth or up above you for universal cleansing from spirit. Then from your heart, send out beautiful rainbow rays of love light to the forest. This lets the nature beings know you are aware this is their home and you are there to honor the forest. Politely ask them to guide you to the forest's beauty and magic. They respect our free will and tend to be less shy and more helpful if we politely request their guidance and presence. Open your childlike heart to the wonders and beauty of nature. Invite the nature beings to play with you and possibly show up in your photographs. Enjoy your visit without any expectations, and they may surprise you. Please take anything non-perishable with you when you leave. They appreciate your actions of keeping things clean and balanced in the forests. The nature beings are connected to the elements. The elementals work with the forces of nature, earth, water, fire, or air. The elementals are under the category of a nature being. They all serve to keep Mother Earth clear, cleansed, and balanced. They take shape and form within the four elements of nature. I work with all the different elementals as well as the dragons. The dragons are not elementals. They have their own realm and choose to dwell on Earth to assist in helping raise its vibration and frequency. My fairy guide told me that there are over 121 different elementals. Here are a few basic examples. Earth elementals are known as gnomes, dwarves, elves, trolls, or nature sprites. They are caretakers of the soil and minerals. The nature sprites infuse the plants and flowers with their energies to keep them healthy and balanced. It activates their life force. Water elementals are known as undines, nymphs, water sprites, and merfairies. The undines and sea nymphs help to guide the forces of waterfalls and the ocean waves. The water sprites help with the exchanges of water to vapor. The merfairies also help with the forces and cleansing of the sea. Fire elementals are known as fire elementals or fire salamanders. They are present whenever you see a fire. They take shape within them and tend to them. They purify and cleanse the earth. Air elementals are known as sylphs. They work with the weather and control the air currents. They also protect the earth from harmful cosmic rays. Dragons. They work with all the elements. There are water, air, earth, and fire type dragons. The dragons are not elementals. They have their own realm and planet. They coexist with the nature realm. They bring higher frequencies that aid in the ascended state of our beloved planet. Invite the elementals and fairies into your heart and home. Set up a fairy space by building a fairy house or decorate a nook that has natural elements such as crystals, stones, plants, or figurines. Ask them to help you find little treasures in nature and other places you may shop. They love shiny things. Place a mirror inside the house or on the outer landscape to represent a portal or water. Drape your space with twinkle lights. They prefer soft ambient light. They can inspire your life with beauty, love, abundance, and passion. They are great teachers and bring love and magic in order to expand soul growth and higher potentials. The day I finished my fairy house, I was guided to go outside and capture a photo of the amazing sunset over the vineyard from my apple tree. To my amazement, the fairies created a rainbow wave above the small fairy house I had placed at the base of the apple tree. It was their way of showing their appreciation for my beautiful creation. I am always delightfully surprised at the whimsical ways they show up. As my relationship with the nature beings and fairies deepened, I became more aware of their presence and communication through intuition and what is known as the clairs. Clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience, and claircognizance. Clairvoyance is seeing images energetically with your third eye, an energy center connected to the pineal gland of the human brain. The third eye enables us to see different levels of energy and dimensions without using our physical eyes. As you awaken to the many levels of energy in your reality, energetic images will appear. I always feel I'm in a heightened state when I see the faces in the trees. The left photo of the dryad emerging from the moss is visible in the physical and the ethereal dimension. The faces in the right photo appear more energetic, but have come forward to greet you. The photographs are multidimensional. They hold different layers of frequency, therefore can reveal the ethereal as well as the physical dimensions. Clairsentience is receiving intuition through your physical feelings, emotional feelings, or energetic feelings. You might refer to it as a gut feeling, whether it's a sinking pit in your stomach, butterflies, or a warm, fuzzy feeling. As my husband and I stood in front of the enchanted tree in the left photo, we both felt a deep, fuzzy feeling. It felt like warm honey flowing through my body from head to toe. The lighting was a golden light all around us, as if we were in an energetic bubble. As I discovered Erlen, the tree elf in the right photo, I could feel his essence. He was very bratty and wise. Clairaudience is hearing sounds and voices that come from the spiritual world, usually received within your head. Put another way, you can hear noises that are not part of objective reality. No one but you can hear them. My friend Christine and I were walking the pathway next to this tree, and all of a sudden I stopped abruptly in my tracks. She asked, "Why did you stop so suddenly?" I replied, "I heard the tree talk to me in a thunderous voice." She then asked, "What did it say?" I replied, "Stop!" I knew, of course, I was to take its photo. Later, I learned telepathically its purpose was to help ground whoever came upon its presence or view. It is a wonderful tool in this video. I am grateful. Claircognizance is the ability for a person to acquire wisdom without knowing how or why they knew it. Years ago, my husband and I were walking in a redwood forest. I suddenly turned to him and said, "Let's go this way." He replied, but that is off the beaten path. How will you know where to go?" I replied, "I have an intuitive knowing to go this way. I won't know where my destination is until I get there." Of course, this is not thinking with the logical mind. As we approached this tree, I knew it was the one. It was gigantic, and we had fun going inside, too. I was guided to take a photo, and to my surprise, A unicorn emerged with divine white light. It projected beautiful rays of aqua and pink-colored light. It took its shape from the branches and leaves of the trees around it. So magical. I was asked this question in an interview on a radio podcast. If you could have a few minutes to address the whole world at one time on television, what would you tell them about the enchanted forest of our world and the elemental realm? And here is my reply. We live on such a magnificent jeweled planet. Nature is what embraces us with beauty, wisdom, abundance, and love. It is Creator's way of feeding our bodies and our souls. All of the various realms in nature, elemental, plant, and crystal, gift us this experience. They literally bring it into form. Nature and all its many layers mirror to us the knowing of flow and expansion through change and rebirth. Don't miss it. It is precious. Through your own acts of self-love, become a part of it. Through loving your physical body, you're able to love the earth. Invite the nature beings that live around you to hold your hand and walk with you. Whether in the forest or to the stars and back. Happy trails, my friends! Laura here. I hope you become a bit enchanted by my presentation. I invite you to visit my website to experience, witness, and learn more about the fairies and nature beings. Go to my website link below and click the green button on my homepage. It will lead you to more episodes in this video series. Thanks for watching.